Hello and good afternoon to all the viewers of the Activisia channel and the Blue Link Stories. As Russian troops are rolling onto Ukrainian territory today and yesterday, Ukraine and the world is bracing for military conflict, we shall try to look live into the situation in Ukraine and particularly at what's happening with civil society, the organizations of people, how are they surviving, how are they existing in this critical situation. And our guest today in our live netcast is Maksym Kyiak. He's security advisor and coordinator for strategy at ATNS, which is a network of civil society organizations. It is actually the network of national interest protection, literally. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us today. May I please ask immediately your first-hand knowledge of what is happening as we speak today in Kiev and in Ukraine.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for having me. Well, actually, this is what we are witnessing today, right now, basically. This was kind of logical step, because when you have a neighbor like this, which is Russia, this should have been happened. So yeah, now we have almost officially recognized that Russian troops are in eastern region of Ukraine. So now Russia has recognized and has legitimized its troops in eastern Ukraine. And now they are planning to attack the rest of the Donetsk and Luhansk regions of Ukraine. You might know all that, but if we speak today about civil society and the role of civil society in Ukraine, I think that Kremlin, an aggressor, always underestimates and doesn't take into consideration human factor, human resources factor. He has been doing it since 2014, but still Ukrainian people are the most valuable resource in countering aggressor nowadays. And I'm more than sure that we will succeed.
Thank you. I used the moment to show some of the international footage we are getting from the international networks as the events are unfolding. May I ask you for the actual topic of our conversation today, since we are a civil society network and a civil society information service, what has been happening on the civil society front over the past days and weeks when escalation of events and tension was taking place?
I would say not even weeks, but months. And I would say that since 2014, thought there has been some kind of despair in the Ukrainian society, between civil society organizations, but still Ukrainians are ready and NGOs are ready to protect and to defend their country. But during the last several months, we, Ukrainian organizations like our organization, ANS, like others, like Anti-Corruption Center and others, they have been trying to mobilize and to coordinate their actions. And basically that's what we are doing right now. Now we are preparing different open letters to US Congress, to European Parliament, to other governments all over the world. We are also trying to say that yes, sanctions have to be imposed and have to be strengthened, and many others. So some of us are joining territorial defense groups. Some of us are more or less active. They're trying to be active in the foreign front, let's say, foreign relations front, in media. And yes, Ukrainian society is still taking responsibility and is a leader and taking a leadership in protecting their country. And I wouldn't say everything what we are doing, what we are planning, but still I have to reassure you that yes, Ukrainian society is ready, and it is more ready and becoming more ready with every next day.
We're seeing some footage which shows a quite regular, actually, civil society gathering. If one looks at it, it doesn't seem from the image that this is happening literally weeks before a war is knocking on the door. But you say that already at this stage, a couple of weeks ago, there was preparation for a networking event of civil society.
Yeah,
This
is our event, ANS, and that's for this event different organizations from all Ukraine, basically, from even Donetsk and Luhansk regions. For sure, they were invited, and this is our idea to launch some kind of network of networks, different organizations which are dealing with different issues, are active in different fields. And this is the very first meeting of this network of networks. We are preparing a plan, we are preparing some kind of memorandum, and we think that Ukrainian society is so strong that we have to have some kind of a network of different organizations where all of them will be equal, and there will be no some kind of umbrella organization. They all will be equal. And yes, like you said, Pavel, this was just a few weeks ago, and people realized that yes, someday, maybe in the nearest future, military actions might happen, and but still Ukrainian society has become very resilient. It has to be mentioned, and yes, we have become resilient. We know that panic is not an answer, but preparation has to be an answer.
I'm showing another video which you kindly sent to us. This is another event a bit more recently. Can you please tell us a bit about this action?
Sure, this is video that I have received. This is actually a rally during the Munich conference, security conference in Munich, and organized by NGOs, eventually by Ukrainian diaspora as well, because Ukrainian diaspora has to be also proclaimed, mentioned as a part of civil society. And they had a rally saying that yes, Ukraine has to be supported and has to be helped, and that Ukraine is protecting basically Europe and Western world from an aggressor. And this is what we are witnessing right now. This was exactly 1 week ago, during the visit of Johann Scholz, Bundeskanzler, Chancellor of Germany, and this rally was named Punish Putin, not Ukraine, because we think that Putin has to be punished for all that he has been doing and is doing right now, but not Ukraine. So it means that Germany has to have a strong stance on what is going on in Eastern Ukraine, what's going on regarding Ukraine. We can also mention Nord Stream 2. We can mention sanctions, because as far as you know, Germany has some kind of very not very strong stance on what Russia has been doing.
May I please ask you to tell us a bit more of the specific aspects of the situation in different fields of civil society activism, particularly interesting for and important for Blue Links users are protection of environment, human rights, equality. Are there concerns, and how is civil society preparing to basically deal with these concerns?
I think right now the Ukrainian civil society is still trying to synchronize its actions. So because for sure we have different organizations, like you mentioned, environmental ones, human rights. I think that nowadays NGOs think, or representatives of different NGOs think that they have to do something, not just stand aside, but they have to do something. I guess that we are still lacking some kind of a voice which will be heard in the West. So we are not very much synchronized and organized in terms of let's say foreign policy or media policy with different Western organization. I think that some kind of a umbrella NGO, or let's say some kind of headquarters have to be launched in regard with media, Western media policy. So I think that this is also a thing which has to be done. I can also mention, or I can recall events in Georgia in 2008, when only 10 people, volunteers basically, they launched a center in the hotel of Tbilisi, in the central hotel of Tbilisi, and they did everything so that the Georgian voice was heard all over the world, and they actually succeeded. I think something has to be done here in Ukraine right now, because it's crucial.
Is there any worries about access to the internet and the ability of civil society to communicate then?
Right now, yes, for sure, we have internet ability. I don't know, probably one day internet can be like the connection can be banned, or there will be no connection in Ukraine, as well as cell phone connections or mobile connection. But we have prepared for that. I think that we can also be provided with satellite internet connection, which is also crucial, and with other means, because coordinating is really crucial. Because probably you have heard, for sure, officially Russia says it's not true, it's some kind of it's a lie and so on. That's a rumors, because there is information from US media basically that there exists some kind of list of pro-Ukrainian activists that can be captured or even tortured or killed by pro-Russian sympathizers. I don't know by whom, maybe even by Russian troops, but this list actually exists, and this is actually crucial, because if there will be no activists in Ukraine, Russia will succeed, or can succeed easily.
Access Now and other international networks have already raised voice of alarm and called for support to Russia. I actually tried to show on the screen one of their publications. There was a petition, but is there anything else, anything that you think civil society in Ukraine might need in terms of support from its democratic and civil society allies?
To my mind, in terms of preparation, like yesterday we had a tactical medicine lessons. I think this is also crucial for activists, because many activists are not very good in this. I mean, tactical medicine is really crucial. Like, it doesn't mean that they will use it, but still it's really crucial nowadays. And also, I think in terms of coordination, I already mentioned satellite internet, and maybe this is also might help. Maybe walkie-talkies for members of different organizations, because if there will be no connection, and there will be no mobile connection, and so on, so it means that activists will not have a possibility to coordinate, communicate with each other. I think that walkie-talkie is stronger, like up to, I don't know, 2, 3, 5 miles distance. This would be also very important.
Well, we are conveying this message as we speak to the international networks. It is quite shocking, I have to admit, to even get used to the idea that people who have until yesterday been our partners in civil society work are now actually joining a military effort and threatened by a military conflict. So thank you for raising this and bringing this to our attention. One maybe last question related to your personal background and history of research, and it might sound quite paradoxical and maybe untimely, but you have studied the role of humor And I was wondering if in the context of pressure against civil society and pressure against democracy we've been experiencing over the last, I would say, years across Central and Eastern Europe and elsewhere, what is your take as an expert on humor? Is there a place of humor in such tense circumstances?
Right. I mean, nowadays, without humor, you cannot survive in Ukraine. Yeah, you're right. I was a co-author of the NATO Center of Excellence based in Riga research, which is called Stratcom Labs in search of analytical framework. You can find it online. It is online, and yeah, I think that humor is probably one of the best tools to kill, let's say, or to eliminate malign disinformation. So basically, the best tool, yeah, that is the research. This is the best tool, and when we actually have published this research in 2017. We have been stars in Russian, like the researchers, we have been stars in Russian media and Russian political talk shows for almost a week. So it means that we really hit the target, and it means that Russia is also very much afraid of using humor, because humor, like I said, is the best tool, not just in killing malign disinformation, but also to to become more brave and not to be scared of the enemy, because this enemy is not as scared as you might think.
Thank you. We saw over the past days images of isolated activists, a woman actually, in Russia protesting against the war, and I would like to finish on this way note of solidarity that in any country and across the borders, there are people who share the same values, the values of civil society, human rights, and mutual respect. And we in the Balkans have the memory of the conflict 20 years ago, where while the war was still roaming, civil society was using the emerging internet at this time to communicate across front lines on issues like environment and democracy. So thank you so much, and I am wishing good luck for you, good luck for civil society in Ukraine, good luck for peace and stability in your country. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Thank you for having me. Take care. Have a nice day.